Welcome, everyone. Today we will explore the foundations of content area literacy with a focus on language processing, literacy development, and instructional strategies for device.
Criteria number 1, 5 types of language processing.
Phonological processing involves sound structures like gnomes. Orthographic processing relates to recognizing layers, letters, and spelling patterns quickly.
Semantic is about word meaning. Syntactic covers grammar and structure. Discourse ties everything together across sentences and paragraphs. Criteria number 2, describe factors that contribute to literacy development.
Orthographic, semantic, syntactic, and discourse, and each play a role in how we read and learn. Semantics is about word meanings. Syntactic covers grammar and structure. Discourse covers everything together across sentences and paragraphs. Neurobiological factors use neuroimaging, which shows that dyslexia is tied to underactive brain regions involved in reading and not a matter of intelligence or effort. Behavior factors may include, but are not limited to, motivation, resilience, and emotional support can all influence how students respond to literacy changes. Linguistic factors are spoken language abilities, vocabulary, grammar, and narratives to form the base for reading comprehension. Finally, literacy grows from an intersection of the brain development, language exposure, cognition, and motivation. Criteria 3, explaining literacy foundations. Now let's go ahead and walk through the foundational skills that support reading, writing, and especially for struggling readers. The first we're going to begin with is oral language development, which is a spoken language that develops naturally and sets the stage for literacy, conversation, storytelling, and build critical skills. The second one we're going to go over is phonemic awareness. This is the ability to hear and manipulate sounds and words, and is the strongest predictor of reading success. The third one we're going to go over is decoding skills. Decoding skills are translating letters into sounds. Next is spelling, which reinforces decoding and phonics patterns. This is closely tied to reading development. After that, we have printed word recognition, which is the automatic word recognition that frees the brain for comprehension. It takes repetition and exposure to build. Finally, we have reading fluency. Fluency involves reading with the speed of expression. Repeated readings and scripts help improve this. Criteria 4, describing reciprocal relationships. Phonemic awareness grows from broader sound skills essential for decoding. A rich oral vocabulary supports both decoding and understanding print, especially important in content areas. With practice, decoding becomes automatic recognition and reduces the effort and boosts fluency. Spelling helps internalize word structure and sound symbol connections which support reading. All of these work closely together to create the perfect reader who is able to read, comprehend, decode, recognize words, and spell correctly and fluently. And criteria 5, define and explain dyslexia. Dyslexia is a neurobiological reading disorder that affects the phonological processing, not intelligence. Dyslexia is covered underneath the IDA in Section 504. Students are entitled to services and accommodations. Dyslexic students may read slowly and struggle with spelling and show avoidance, but often excel orally. Criteria 7, evidence-based approaches. Oral language development uses dialogic reading and interactive books to support early expressive and receptive language. Segmenting and blending sounds through games and activities builds this skill. Systematic phonics instruction is crucial. It uses structured programs that teach one rule at a time. Spelling helps students practice and retain information. Word recognition can be assisted by repeated readings, theater scripts, and multisensory spelling. Graphic organizers, modeled writing tasks help students express ideas clearly and confidently. Continuous practice of written expression will eventually help with word recognition. Criteria number 8, content area literacy. Literacy strategies are all throughout this example. Let's go ahead and take a look. Math journaling, scientific text, annotation, and concept mapping all support comprehension and vocabulary. Let's look closely at the social studies literacy strategy. What can you find? Criteria 9, communicating content. Connecting and collaborating with team members is essential because it promotes shared understanding, builds collective expertise, ensures consistency, and encourages problem solving and innovation, which leads to more effective creative teaching and practices. As an educator, it's important to share resources, use PLCs, invite feedback from colleagues to improve literacy support all across the board.